First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning. And God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First. My first thing every day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders, and getting it going. TGIF. Yes, yes, yes. It's Friday. And you know what we do. The first hour, it's all about local. What's going on the left coast. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. In the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or persons or topic of interest. Today, we'll be talking with comedian extraordinaire Edwanda White. That'll be fun, fun, fun for your Friday. Joining me in studio, yay, she's back. Labor organizer and activist and KBLA contributor, Sherri Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Born and raised. Born and raised.
Born and raised. No.
But you really are, right?
Oh, yeah.
South L.A. for days.
Yeah, it's true.
South L.A.
Just South L.A., all parts of South L.A. all my life.
The South L.A. migratory path.
I know all the ins and outs.
We got to do an ins and outs show one day.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one day we did a spoof, you know, how Steve Harvey has the Hoodie Awards.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I think they changed it to the Neighborhood Awards.
Oh, right.
So we did the bootleg Hoodie Awards. May have to bring that back with people that know the ins and outs.
Right.
That could just, not a national thing, just L.A.,
right.
Those little, L.A. got some spots, right?
Man, like A1 Burger right here.
What?
It's a neighborhood legend.
See, I didn't know. I'm learning. Yeah. I need to hang out with you because even though I've been here a very long time, I'm not born and raised. So
gotcha,
I don't, I can't wear that sweatshirt. If you want to see what Sherri has on, she looks amazing as usual. Go to YouTube, KBLA 1580. I'm representing Bob Marley though, so got to do something on a Friday. So we do have a lot to talk about. Some good things, and I had to load in at least one national story because you're formerly with the LA Labor Center. You worked on the Fight for 15. I mean, you know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to labor, and it continues to be a hot labor summer, even though it's already fall.
We're going to have to just call it a hot labor year after this.
Yeah, pretty much. United Auto Workers is starting their strike thing right there. So it's the first time ever that all three of the major American car makers are being struck. Is that right?
That is right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and they say that, it's the combination that you see. It's like a cocktail, that's creating all these strikes. It's record profits from the industries that are being, the subject to the strike, right? There's large CEO salaries that are astronomical, like the UAW in recent times, like a 40% increase in the salary of these
insane.
Company heads.
And we know they're already in the multiple tens of millions, so
right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, which I don't even really know what they make, but this is kind of like similar, it seems like, to what the hotel workers here in LA are doing. They're doing like rolling strikes. What's the thought behind a rolling strike?
That's a good question. It seems like we one foot in, one foot out.
Right.
Like we don't want to fully disrupt the lives of our members. But at the same time, we want to send a message to like strong arm, probably negotiations. It could be that maybe perhaps the negotiations had not been going on so long, but the contract is up and things are not moving fast. So maybe that's a tactic to try to bring people to the table.
Well, so I guess what they're doing, they're going to do one auto plant from each company and then shut it down and then maybe move to another one.
Like a warning.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that one plant can disrupt their manufacturing output so seriously, because they're saying this could really actually have a pretty big impact on all three of these companies.
I had no idea either. And they should come to the table, because people with cars don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's going to be affecting the business more than like the consumer mostly, right? Because, well, if you're looking to buy a car, it could be a problem.
But that's been a problem since the pandemic, right? I mean,
Right.
Car prices went up for new and used cars.
Car prices are up, CEO salaries are up, but the wages of the workers are not. And some of these people are struggling to make ends meet because inflation, everything's going up, but their wages, and they want to send a message like, you are making all this money from off of our backs. And, where's the thought for us?
Right.
We're an afterthought.
Right. Where's any kind of equitable consideration? I think that even when salaries have gone up, which they have in some sectors, inflation's gone up more. Right.
Right.
And that's, a lot of that is not stuff we can control. The Republicans trying to make that into a talking point. Oh, Biden's bad because inflation's up. That's like saying Biden's bad because it's hot outside. I mean, yeah, they are doing things to try to fix it, but you can't just wave a magic wand and fix inflation. So when wages go up but inflation goes up more, it's like you didn't get a raise. You ended up getting a demotion of some kind. So.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Just doesn't make sense, because if you have record profits and you are raising the salary of the CEO, which I kind of figure out plays the role of the person who protects the investments, right?
Yeah,
of the shareholders.
I guess that's why. Oh, you've delivered record investments,
Right.
Even though you're trotting on the backs of the workers and they cannot live in the cities in which they work because it's too expensive.
Right.
I always say this, Sherri Bell, it's a bad business model. If your business model requires you to starve and exploit workers,
Right.
you need to recalibrate your business model. I don't care if you're a university, an automaker, a hotel, or a doggone studio.
Right.
Fix it. That means fix your business model. Do you have to pay CEOs less? Do shareholders have to take a slightly smaller dividend?
Right.
Oh, it's not the end of the world. When did we get to this? Well, what Dr. Julianne Malveaux calls it predatory capitalism, where we're squeezing every drop out of workers, out of companies, not even reinvesting. Hopefully these strikes will shake some of that, those practices loose a little bit.
Right. Yeah, we need it. Like if you're thinking of giving a CEO a raise, you should also be thinking at that same moment about the workers.
Yeah, and maybe the CEO, might not need a raise. When the gap between the average worker and the CEO is too big, that is a formula for disaster.
They're playing the role of an investment banker
Right.
more so than a CEO. And if
Right.
you want an investment banker, hire an investment banker, keep the business separate from your interminglings with the stock market,
Right. And that gets back to sort of a basic principle of business, which is stick to your core product. Your core product is cars. Your core product is movies and TV shows. So you need to make sure that your partners in creating that, whether it's the factory workers for the United Auto Workers or the actors and writers in Hollywood, you need to make sure they can live and sustain themselves. Not everyone... Most people aren't Tom Cruise with the massive salary. Most people are just getting by. Those folks have to be able to live.
Yeah.
I don't think that's asking too much. By the way, when we come forward, we've got news about the Writers Guild strike. Big old giant picket line on Wednesday with the Solidarity March. We'll talk about that when we come forward. We're always taking your phone calls every hour, 800-920-1580. Love to hear from you about whatever is on your mind this Friday morning. I'm Dominique DePrima. She's Sherri Bell, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
She's so smooth, so... I'm interrupting my own shower to remind you to treat your skin like the queen she is with Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash, packed with Olay's highest level of vitamin B3 complex. It's so moisturizing that it will give you visibly smoother, head-turning skin in just 14 days. People wondering, how'd she get so smooth? Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash. Also, try Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Let's get back to Sherri Bell right now. So, I know you're having a field day with all these picket lines and marches. And Wednesday, the actors and writers showed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we seeing more solidarity across unions. And, like I said, they're reminding folks that these are labor folks. These people are union activists. They are on the front lines. They got their drums. They got, they're like, we're not going to back down. We're here. But at the same time, we know the underlying issues is that people are hungry. People are starving. It's getting desperate on both sides. But what we saw was an extreme display of worker power.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the reasons why we're moving back to the table, although I have no proof of this, is the enthusiasm of the actors and writers in their picketing and marching and organizing.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a long haul already and people are suffering, as you point out, people out there yelling, they're, hey, writers and actors, they're going to be dramatic.
Right.
Newsflash.
Yeah. And the face that the both of those guilds are putting on, those WGA and SAG, they are putting on that brave face. You got Shirley Raff out there singing "B Better Have My Money," so they really are assertive and consistent. And Fran Drescher got the nanny out there still, on the stage, demanding change. So, and then you see that this fall is coming up, and a lot of these networks have fall programming. A lot of them actually have fall programming before fall, the fall replacement series, and then you got the fall, and now it's starting to get to a desperate point, I think, for both parties. And I really hope it, and I'm praying really for a swift resolution, because these are people's families. I think about the humanity of it all, and I think about the organizing that's happening. The organizing that got these folks potentially back to the table, right?
Right.
So for that reason, I'm hoping that there is a swift resolution.
You say potentially because with something like a strike like this, it can go either way and just in a heartbeat, right?
Right. And, it's been going on long enough that internal conversations should have been had to where people are willing to concede and negotiate on. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? So
yeah, I think that's right. And we were talking off mic about how the teachers and the SEIU 99, two potential strikes that could have shut down schools earlier this year, and really, I mean, there was the potential for them to drag on and on and on. It was pretty swift resolution. We're way past that with the WGA, and we're past that with the actors. But it would be nice to see it wrapped up. This, people said Labor Day. Well, that came and went. So we need to do this before the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. First of all, I'm happy to see the organizing.
Right.
Because this is huge and this is a message that needs to be spread. Like when people get together as an organizer, I'm telling everybody, I'm sharing it. Like you can see that change has happened and it will happen. But like just the families that are hurting, I'm just hoping.
Yep. Well, okay. So what do you think about this story about Drew Barrymore? She brought her show back, right? And even though we're in the middle of a strike, she's just saying that she already sacrificed by not hosting the MTV Awards, that she had that job and she walked away from it because of the conflict with the strike. But now she's going back to her show.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point because that kind of demonstrates that she is caving on some level. I heard that the SAG might not have such an issue with her going back because of the types of things she's omitting from her programming. However, I heard that the WGA does have an issue with her return. And I heard that back in the day, coincidentally, Ellen DeGeneres actually did the same thing during the strike that happened a while back
I don't remember that.
The Writers Guild. She actually came back during the strike, and I heard that Bill Maher is also coming back.
Yeah, he was on Twitter saying he was going to come back because of all the people below the line, people that aren't writers.
Right.
But as several writers pointed out in his thread, you're going to come back and your show's going to suck. That show is writer dependent. I mean, his monologues and all that stuff.
I mean, I do get their position about the on the ground workforce, those essential workers that that are not actors that work on the shows.
Right.
However, there's other people who are suffering too that don't have a choice but to hold out. Some people don't have the luxury of working for a talk show that the head boss is like, we're going to go back. We're going to make sure that you get paid. The rest of the group in which they belong to don't have that luxury. And it kind of appears that they are, it's like, too bad, so sad, that, I have to keep it on for my folks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I remember during that last strike, Jimmy Kimmel, and some others paying their writers, even though they weren't working. And Bill Maher claims he did that for a while, but now he needs to go back. So we'll see what the reaction is to these shows. That the WGA is definitely picketing Drew.
Yeah, and I heard that the new bill that just passed is waiting for Gavin Newsom's signature about unemployment benefits for striking people. So hopefully that happens. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I haven't tracked that, but it makes sense because we're not employed if we're striking.
Right.
At least that would be one relief. Speaking of folks maybe losing their houses. Okay, so you mentioned A1 Burger. Is that what?
Yeah. Right up the street on 11th Ave right there.
Okay.
Vernon.
Vernon. Okay. I'm sure I've driven by it a million times and never paid any attention.
It's very small.
It's good, though.
It's good.
Good to know. Yeah. See, I'm going to have to follow you around. But the Skechers store, their shoes. Oh, yeah. They just opened a restaurant inside one of their shoe stores called Food Spot. And I think it looks like it's a really good marketing plan.
I'm all for it. Cheap eats, delicious cheap eats, you know.
Yeah, what parent is not going to be like, you know what, let's stop by the Skechers store.
Right.
They have hot dogs for $2.50.
Sounds delicious.
I can feed a lot of people. I mean, it may not be the world's healthiest, but I'm just saying sometimes as a family, you're like, oh no, what are we doing for dinner? So it seems like they're copying Costco and trying to have these, cheap. They said like Costco, slightly more expensive and a little tastier. And they already have lines around them, all the time.
I love it because Costco done changed up their thing where you have to show your card to get that food now. Before you could just go up and buy the food. So now you can get it. Skechers don't have a membership, so...
Right, you don't need to be a member. You can just roll up and get the food.
This is exciting. I want to see more of it.
Apparently it's, and I bet you if it works, we will, because the mall is dying.
Oh,
the concept of the mall is dying. They should be, low income and in permanent transitional housing is what they should be.
It should be.
But I think that, when everything is so expensive, we're in the middle of inflation, everyone's pressed for time, and I can just stop by the shoe store.
Yeah. With the whole family. Like, what we doing this weekend?
It's called the Food Spot. It's at Vermont and 190th,
I know exactly
right?
where that
you
is.
do? Yeah.
Right by it. It's not too far from that Walmart over there.
Okay, so that might become, it could be a legendary in the making if it holds up. $3 for pizza, $2.50 for hot dogs. Whoa, they got soft serve.
Oh, see? Now they really copying Costco. Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's, that loss leader, the cheap thing they do to get you there so you'll buy the expensive thing.
That is a great idea. Whoever came up with that, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think people are, reinventing themselves, not just because of coronavirus, but because of the economy.
Right.
Right. And shoot, I would be much more likely to go buy. I only have one child now.
Yeah.
I say now because my bonus daughter is grown.
Oh, okay.
But wow, get the shoes and get the dinner in one stop. Yeah. And speaking of young people, the LA Metro is starting a youth council. And they're looking for teenagers. You got to be 14 to 17. You have till October 3rd to apply. And I guess they're going to be advising the Metro. I hope they're paying these teenagers.
I mean, it would be great if they were paying them or giving them a scholarship or some kind of benefit, because I'm sure whatever contribution they are going to provide to Metro is going to be valuable, because a lot of these kids are bright. They ride the Metro. Unfortunately, a lot of our schools are aligning the Metro, like Fauché and Dorsey and other ones. So, I mean, those impacted could definitely provide good feedback. So, I really hope that they're getting some benefit.
And I know they've done a lot with the Go Pass, getting a lot of students on to public transportation for free, which is great. It should go on and on forever. I love that Stephanie Wiggins, the CEO of Metro, black woman, is saying, okay, let's hear from young people.
Right.
But can we give them a stipend? Please. Young people are expensive. Their parents would appreciate it if you gave them, at least give them some shoe money.
Something, just a little something to benefit their future, so they can take this, maybe be a major that the transportation administration take up in school, right?
And I'm sure that's great on your resume.
Oh,
But kids need money too.
Yep, they do.
Oh yeah, Miss Wiggins. Kids need money too. The battle, Sherri, in the schools right now around, it's really mostly around LGBTQ, but also Black studies too. But here in California, it's just startling to me, because I you expect it in Florida and Texas, but right here now we've got the school district in Temecula banning. Basically, they've banned the rainbow flags. They do it by saying if it's not a U.S. flag or a state flag, it needs special approval, which means you can't fly your red, black, and green. You can't fly your rainbow.
Right.
You can't fly, your any flag whatsoever. But clearly it's targeting LGBTQ, just like we now have these school districts targeting trans students by saying we're going to tell your
mama,
parents
tell your daddy.
if you are using the wrong pronoun.
Right. We're going to call them up.
I know it's tricky because parents want to know.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, do you tell them when the kids are having sex? By the way, your daughter is, bumping so-and-so, or your son is, smashing so-and-so under the bleachers. Do you make that call?
Vaping.
Or vaping. I mean, you're a parent. I'm a parent. Of course you want to know.
Right.
But I don't want my child to go to school in a police state either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking about this too. Like growing up in school, there was like the United States flag and there was the California flag. That was it, right? And I don't know. I just question the purpose of having a flag on school premises.
Any flag or any flag beyond the state in the U.S. flag?
I don't like the word banning flag, but I question the purpose of having a flag. Like I'm black, right? My red, black, and green flag. I wonder the purpose of having that flag up in my school.
To make me feel included. Okay. To make me feel important, to make me feel welcome.
I guess it could be that. I mean, outside of Black History Month, just to have it. I mean,
I would like that if I went to school. That was never something I experienced.
Yeah.
But if I went to school and saw a red, black, and green, I think I'd be good with that.
Yeah. I mean, this is a new thing, for me. And I guess what you're saying about being included and, I guess all flags, every country that is represented at the school should have a flag. And, you a part of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but the red, the black, the green is part of the red, the white, and the blue, just like the rainbow is part of. Okay, we'll continue this conversation after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. New York City African-American Mayor Eric Adams continues the call on the federal government to do much more to help the city with the migrant crisis. The mayor spoke out again about the drastic budget cuts needed in order to make way for billions of dollars in spending on the migrant issue. Meanwhile, White House staffers are arriving in the city to try and guide migrants through the process of applying for federal work authorization. Tropical storm warnings are being issued in several states as Hurricane Lee barrels toward New England. WXFT in Boston says the hurricane is on track to bring wind damage and flooding to the state this weekend. The National Weather Service says Lee will pass offshore New England on Saturday, but its impact will be felt far from the storm center. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are back in action tonight. They take on the Detroit Tigers in the first game of a 3-game series. A win tonight and tomorrow night could give the Dodgers the NL West title. The Dodgers are 31 games over 500 and lead the Giants by 13.5. Fifth-ranked USC is off this weekend. The Trojans are 3-0 and have one of the most productive offenses in college football. The Trojans are averaging 59.3 points per game. Quarterback Khalid Williams leads the nation with 12 touchdown passes. UCLA is on the field this weekend. They have a non-conference game Saturday at the Rose Bowl against North Carolina Central, one of the nation's prominent HBCU schools. The NC Central Band made the cross-country trip and will perform at halftime. UCLA's Dante Moore, a freshman from Detroit, is expected to start at quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, this is LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to the 28th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Festival on September the 23rd from 11 to 7 p.m. For nearly 3 decades, the Central Avenue Jazz Festival has paid homage to the legendary Central Avenue and its influence on jazz history. Jazz, blues, and Latin jazz will be featured on 3 stages of music. Co-headlining are Hubert Laws with special guest Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. Parking is limited, so Metro and rideshare are recommended. Hubert Laws with special guests Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. For more information, visit centralavjazzfest.com. centralavjazzfest.com. See you on the 23rd.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase, September 22nd through the 24th. Join us for the opening night celebration on Friday, September 22nd, featuring iconic film director Michael Schultz of Cooley High and Car Wash fame, along with rising director Jewel Taylor from They Clone Tyrone, plus actor-director Maurice J. Irvin. Then on Saturday, September 23rd and Sunday, September 24th, enjoy the short film showcase featuring 47 films by emerging black male directors from across the globe. Celebrate a legacy of brotherhood and excellence. All events will be held at the Regal LA Live Cinemas in downtown Los Angeles. For more information and tickets, visit www.bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. That's 323-957-4656. Support black cinema at the 25th Annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. See you there.
Dominique DePrima here. Having a good credit score is one critical step to obtain a loan to buy a home. But did you know that your credit score is just one factor in getting a mortgage loan? Think about this. Lenders also consider your income, your employment history, current monthly debts, the size of the loan, and the amount of your down payment. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives support you in reaching them. Access your personal financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Extended Family Outreach Ministry presents Praise Fest 2023, Worthy to be Praised Conference and Concert, September 23rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Morning worship, keynote address, and conference featuring women in creative arts ministry and leadership sharing our stories, His glory, giving all praise, honor, thanksgiving, and glory to God. Don't miss the afternoon Stand Up and Sing Praises concert with the Katinas, gospel singer Babby Mason, 3 daughters, and Kevin Click. That's Praise Fest 2023, Worthy to be Praised Conference and Concert, September 23rd, Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. For more information and tickets, go to PraiseFest 2023 at Eventbrite.com. Plus, for the next 48 hours, use promo code KBLA48 to get your tickets free. You do not want to miss this day of praise. That's PraiseFest 2023 at Eventbrite.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I appreciate you. I'm here with Sherri Bell. There's so much going on this weekend. I want to, my colleague Ariva Martin, who does afternoon drives around here, just sent me the info on Dr. Julianne Malveau's book signing, Surviving and Thriving, 365 Facts in Black Economic History. It's the second edition. And the book signing is tonight from 5 to 7 at Catula by Africana. Forget the $2.50 pizza. Go by Catula and get you a dress and a book. Catula by Africana is that African clothing store at 4438 West Slauson in Los Angeles. They have such beautiful stuff. I know what that Even if you've never been there, you've seen me wearing Catula by Africana. You know, it's designer, it's couture, it's not cheap, but it's worth it. I mean, it looks beautiful. It fits great. Anyway, congrats to Dr. Malveau. The Community Coalition is having their Power Fest, South L.A. Power Fest, Saturday, Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall. The rap artist No Name and a bunch of DJs. It looks like it's going to be great. And plus, vendors and all kinds of stuff. So it's indoors and outdoors at the mall. Yeah. The contracts. Tavis Smiley's teaming up with Rambo. I'll be there to help small businesses learn how to get contracts so we can get some of this big money out here.
Right, just sitting there.
This big Olympics money and stuff.
Right.
And you have an event.
Yeah. So the LA Black Worker Center is having their Member Appreciation Day. All are welcomed. It's going to be at Marina Del Rey Lagoon Park, 6660 Escalante Place, and it starts at 11. We're going to have music, activities, food, games. So, just make your itinerary for the day. Stop on by. It starts at 11. Maybe
That's on Saturday?
Yeah, maybe after coming from the Power Fest or before going to the Power Fest, you stop by and say hello. I'll be there. So that's this Saturday at 11.
And let me not forget Fly Compton. I'm going to be hosting their first annual gala tonight. And, it's a great cause, getting more black children into aviation.
Oh, yeah.
Helping to support those aspiring pilots and whatnot. And so if you want to find out more, go on Instagram, look under Fly Compton. Even if you can't make it, they have something called Donate 8 where you can donate at least $8.
Wow.
And you can help support a young person aspiring to be a pilot. It's going to be quite a shindig. They have an amazing lineup of lawmakers and others speaking. So if you want to come, go on Instagram to Fly Compton.
I had no idea this initiative existed. I thank you for sharing. That's very positive.
Yeah, it's positive. It's really positive, and it's awesome how many folks are supporting it. I get to MC tonight, so that'll be fun.
I'll
I know,
donate my
Maxine,
$8.
you're $8.
Yeah.
You got 5 on it. I mean 8 on it.
At least 8 on it.
And I know Congresswoman Maxine Waters will be there this evening.
Maxine.
Yeah, so good stuff. A lot of people supporting in the city of Compton, to your point. But Black Worker Center, a Member Appreciation Day is good too, because even if you're not a member,
right,
you can find out who is, do a little networking, and we complain about not having enough rights or jobs for black workers.
Right.
Hook up with the people that are making it happen.
Yeah, instead of meeting us at City Hall, you can meet us at the park and get you a plate and learn about the work we do.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool. Okay, this is a weird story, but I'm going to say it anyway. The mayor of Burbank apparently is maybe stepping down.
Really? Because of that? Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe I don't get this.
Okay.
Because apparently there's a video of him being spanked by a drag queen at a fundraising event in Santa Clarita.
You never know who got them camera phones out, so be careful.
Well, it's not like he was trying to do it secretly. It was at a fundraising charity event.
Look, it was funny. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the video, I was like, WTF. But, the only problem I have with this embarrassing video, like, if there were kids there, that would have been wildly inappropriate. But he claims that there were no children, so for that reason, I don't see a big, it is embarrassing and hilarious, but I wouldn't see a reason to step down if there were no children present.
Well, I like what he said, because it's sort of not what you usually hear from people in these situations, which is he said he comes from a silly performance background, and what he finds funny, what to me is goofy and normal to other folks seems inappropriate. That's not their fault. That's mine. I need to learn that line. And he said he was going to step back. I don't know. Maybe I'm too. Maybe I should never run for office, because to me, if your mayor is willing to do embarrassing stuff to raise money for charity, he's willing to get spanked by a drag queen for a cause. I don't know. I don't look at that as necessarily a bad thing.
Not worth losing your job over if it was in an appropriate environment.
Right. Well, we'll see. The event, you only had to be 15 to get into the event. But the mayor claims there was no one there under 21. I'm not sure if he checked everybody.
Exactly.
But sometimes it's hard to tell. Constantine Anthony, he's a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In case, because I know you guys are assuming probably a black person.
You just got to be super careful when you hold office, because people just go, ooh-wee.
I hope he doesn't want to be president. because that right there is not presidential.
They'll have a field day with that. If you remember that Howard Dean guy that yelled, and he didn't get elected for that silly stuff.
Yeah, but now you can talk about grabbing women by the privates and still get elected.
It just shows
you can have 4 indictments and still. I mean, I know it's not local, but yeah. I mean, it's not local, but Hunter Biden, is indicted.
Right.
First time. To me, I don't, no matter what you think of Hunter or Joe, to me, it's not. If the president can't be indicted while they're in office, they shouldn't be indicting their family. If he is to be indicted, I feel like it should happen right after Joe gets out of office, kind of like Trump. One of the main reasons Trump is running right now, so he can try to keep his own butt out of jail.
Right.
Because they could go after Ivanka, Melania, Jared Kushner, who got billions from the Saudis.
Right.
But I don't know. I digress. I know that's national news. But it strikes me, this, the time we're in, like you said, this dude can't get spanked by a drag queen, but that dude can, swindle people at a university, pay off a porn star, talk about grabbing women by the privates on tape.
I mean, the difference is one of them is upholding and outwardly supporting white supremacy. So their interest lies in his maintenance of that. So they don't care about all the screwed up things he would normally do because he's maintaining their interest.
Oh, yeah, and you're right. That the governor's got to decide whether to sign that bill you were talking about. Yeah.
He better sign
it. Passed yesterday, so he has. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting to see. The reason I say that is because he's acting like he wants to run for president.
Yeah.
And I think he's vetoing a lot of things because of it. Making that dumb decision about appointing an interim senator instead of appointing Barbara Lee.
Right.
Just to technically fulfill his promise to appoint a black woman senator while not really doing it.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Okay, we'll talk more about that. We're taking your phone calls, 800-920-1580. Dominique DePrima and
Sherri Bell
on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason from KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, if you're in the market for the best prices and the fastest delivery for custom-made roller shade, LA Custom Blinds is the place to be. Schedule a free estimate and they will come to your house, measure your windows, and bring a variety of fabrics to choose from. And then come back and install it all for free. The best part is that their factory is located right here in downtown Los Angeles, so they make the shades really fast. All you gotta do is go to lacustomblinds.com and schedule your free in-home estimate right now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. I know you've been hearing the promo over and over again about our event this Saturday, about contracts and how you can get in the contract pipeline. Just want to remind you, it is this Saturday. Space is limited. Here's Dion Rambo to tell you more about what you can expect this Saturday.
Yo, what's up? This is Rambo, and again, you know the 3 words, contracts, contracts, contracts. This Saturday, there's one place you have to go right now, KBLA1580.com. If you want to see us talk about contracts, talk about grants, you got Caltrans who made all this possible. I'm super excited. You guys all know Rambo's been in the community fighting for you. Now, we got Tavis fighting alongside. This is huge. KBLA1580.com this Saturday. See you guys.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase, September 22nd through the 24th. Join us for the opening night celebration on Friday, September 22nd, featuring iconic film director Michael Schultz of Cooley High and Car Wash fame, along with rising director Jewel Taylor from They Clone Tyrone, plus actor-director Maurice J. Irvin. Then on Saturday, September 23rd and Sunday, September 24th, enjoy the short film showcase featuring 47 films by emerging black male directors from across the globe. Celebrate a legacy of brotherhood and excellence. All events will be held at the Regal LA Live Cinemas in downtown Los Angeles. For more information and tickets, visit www.bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. That's 323-957-4656. Support black cinema at the 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. See you there.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
So to your point, if the Governor Gavin Newsom, signs this bill that will make striking workers eligible for unemployment, I think it's good. I mean, New York and New Jersey already have this. Most states don't, though.
Yeah, I support it, and it definitely will soften the blow a little bit. It's like, like you mentioned off air, it's not their full pay, but it would definitely help.
Yeah, unemployment benefits to me are like a drop in the bucket. I mean, it's been a long time since I collected unemployment because all I do is work like Rihanna. But the thing about it is, to me, it's fair. Why have people lose their homes? Why have if you can avoid it?
Right. It's not an easy decision to make. If they could get fair treatment and not strike, it would be, the choice is like, taking care of what needs to be taken care of.
You're right. That would be our first choice if we could just get the deal we want and not have to go on strike. But that a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Right.
I think though the money for unemployment comes out of money you pay in to that department out of your check. Those EDD withdrawals from your check, and so the workers are. Technically, the workers are paying for it themselves.
Correct. Yeah, they should be entitled to it, actually.
Although I think the employers also have to pay, pay into it as well. But it's not an entitlement. It's an earned benefit. Right. So I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't. But I think it's a political hot potato. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, labor unions are legal, I don't like, that practice is a legal practice. It's a lawful practice. So it should be lawful because it is lawful for them to collect unemployment benefits.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, it's a slippery slope for Democrats because if you're Joe Biden, like, I'm the most pro-labor president of all time, which I don't know about that. But he is pretty pro-labor. But at the same time, he'll step in and, he's looking at re-election in 2024. So he'll step in and try to stop that train strike. Or, or I don't know if they put their finger on the scale with the UPS strike, because that could, either one of those can tank his presidential aspirations, because if the country comes to a standstill, no one cares how pro-labor you are, you're going to be taking the heat for that. Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, you wish he'd jump in right on the side of workers, but I don't want him to jump in because I'm afraid he'll do something more like what they did with the train workers, where it may not be
worse.
Yeah,
for the workers.
Yeah. In order to save the presidency.
His own political career.
Yeah.
His prospects of being reelected. Yeah, it is really tricky. It's really political. And sometimes these things are like more complicated than they seem on its face. Like, you got to really delve into more details. Like they say, the devil's in the details on some of this stuff.
I think that's a really, really good point, because sometimes you think it's like these initiatives. You think you're voting for one thing, but it's really something else. They name it one thing and it's really something else.
Right.
There is some kind of alliance between this organization and that organization. So you got to dig down to the fine print. I don't know all of those tiny details, but to me, if workers are paying into a system that's meant to support them when they can't work, they should be able to access it. We should be able to access it when we are on strike.
100%.
More to follow. We're going to be tracking our governor on this because, it's a fraught time for him too. What do you think about the governor coming out, Sherri, and saying he is not going to appoint Barbara Lee because he doesn't want to meddle in the primary, that it's too close to the primary to appoint? He promised us to appoint a black woman senator should Dianne Feinstein not be able to complete her term, which looks increasingly likely, that he'll appoint someone who's not running, just a caretaker for the spot.
A caretaker?
Like a black woman who's definitely not going to get the job to be senator until the election.
Like he appointed Alex Padilla Like, he wouldn't appoint a black woman like he did him.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, what he's saying is because there's very little time left in the term, he would appoint someone who's not running because he doesn't want to give anyone an unfair advantage in the election. But if he appointed Barbara Lee, then she'd have the advantage of being the incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
And the
right.
And
right.
so, and that's, you know.
So he's saying, so who was he going to appoint then?
I don't know, some random black, maybe Shirley Ralph. I don't know, some black woman that he can say he appointed a black woman, but someone who would never be running for that position.
See, he creating some BS loophole in his promise.
Right.
You know, like some BS disclaimer, like, oh, I'm going to appoint a black woman, but in small print, want someone that's not planning on running in the real election. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. We got a lot to talk about. If you want to call in, it's not too late. When we can come forward, I do want to talk about a little bit about Isaac Bryan's bill that's supposed to straighten up this initiative process. Do you think it'll work? Check on that when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
When my family does Walt Disney World Resort, we do it big.
Bippity boppity big, like Cinderella Castle.
Uh-huh, big, like those juicy turkey legs from Gaston's Tavern.
It doesn't get any bigger than the Tam Tam Drummers. Get it, Grandma.
Yeah, and big like Goofy's kicks. Oh, yup.
It's your world, so do it big at Walt Disney World Resort.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Time flies when you're having fun on the radio. Today's episode of First Things First is brought to you by Wealth Management Financial Advisors. They've got tax services. If you are a small business, for many of us, today is the actual deadline. So get it together. Don't let the day slip by. If you're a small business or an individual, find them at wealthmanagementlb.com. wealthmanagementlb.com, or give them a call, 562-427-8877, Wealth Management Financial Advisors. Labor organizer Sherri Bell is with me talking about this bill by Assemblymember Isaac Bryan that's meant to make the initiative process less confusing. It's got rules about what you can name your initiative. It's got rules about how it's meant to be vetted, how long we need to have before it goes from having enough signatures to getting on the ballot. It's meant to not, stop, but at least rein in the out-of-control initiative process in the state of California. What do you think?
I support it. I support transparency, and I support, not misleading the voters intentionally, like what been done in the past with Proposition 209, which obliterated our civil rights, at the highest levels in California by calling it something like the Civil Rights Protection Act.
That's how Republicans do. That's why they're mad right now that Joe Biden has the Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
It's like, hey, it's not reducing inflation. Okay, so he took a page out of your book and named whatever he wanted and passed an infrastructure bill.
Right. So and I believe that could be the intent and purpose behind this. So people won't get tricked. Now I can understand opposition behind this would be big money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and one of the things I liked is they'll say one of the things they have to do when they're trying to get rid of a bill voters approved is say, instead of yes or no, say overturn the bill or keep the bill. So we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Sherri, we got a minute. We got a minute before we lose you at the top of the hour. What do you want to say?
I just want to say, thank you for having me. I want to say to people, I know it's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the headlines, but please take time to practice self-care, enjoy yourself, enjoy your time with your family, and just try to read between the lines on some of the things you see. Because remember, in the words of a great man, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
It don't make dollars.
DJ Quick.
Speaking of born and raised. All right. Well, I appreciate you letting me know about that burger place. I'll try to dip through there. And of course, the event on Saturday at the name of that park again?
Marina Del Rey Lagoon. Del Rey Lagoon.
Del Rey Lagoon. I know I haven't been to that park. And Saturday, it's all day.
No, it's about like 11 to 4.
11 to 4
like
or something like that.
Something
Come by.
there.
Sounds like a bouncer and some food and things, and meet the people from the LA
it's a
Black
beach,
Workers.
and it's a beach right across the street, so bring your towels.
All right, that's good stuff. Well, thanks for the invitation, and as always, thanks for your insights at Sherri De La Ghetto on Instagram.
Thank you.
The Primo Radio and KBLA 1580. We're on Instagram, too. Thank you so much. News, traffic, and sports, and then call me, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. New York City African-American Mayor Eric Adams continues the call on the federal government to do much more to help the city with the migrant crisis. The mayor spoke out again about the drastic budget cuts needed in order to make way for billions of dollars in spending on the migrant issue. Meanwhile, White House staffers are arriving in the city to try and guide migrants through the process of applying for federal work authorization. Tropical storm warnings are being issued in several states as Hurricane Lee barrels toward New England. WXFT in Boston says the hurricane is on track to bring wind damage and flooding to the state this weekend. The National Weather Service says Lee will pass offshore New England on Saturday, but its impact will be felt far from the storm center. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are back in action tonight. They take on the Detroit Tigers in the first game of a 3-game series. A win tonight and tomorrow night could give the Dodgers the NL West title. The Dodgers are 31 games over 500 and lead the Giants by 13.5. Fifth-ranked USC is off this weekend. The Trojans are 3-0 and have one of the most productive offenses in college football. The Trojans are averaging 59.3 points per game. Quarterback Khalid Williams leads the nation with 12 touchdown passes. UCLA is on the field this weekend. They have a non-conference game Saturday at the Rose Bowl against North Carolina Central, one of the nation's prominent HBCU schools. The NC Central Band made the cross-country trip and will perform at halftime. UCLA's Dante Moore, a freshman from Detroit, is expected to start at quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Here we go. Quick, I'm just a stubborn kind of fella with a head like a brick. And just because I drink the A,